So, as you should be aware, the DOH is currently going through a transition in COVID-19 vaccination recording from VAMS to the Hawaii Immunization Registry, also known as HIR. VAMS is set to sunset in the coming weeks, so we are offering these data entry training sessions to ensure that all of our providers are familiar with this system. So, today I'll be guiding you through this process. If you have any questions, please feel free to stop us at any time. We're here to help you. A few important things I want to go over before we get started. I did mention that transition is regarding COVID-19 vaccination recording, but all steps today can apply to all other types of vaccinations. The examples shown today will be COVID related, but please remember that these steps can apply to all. Another note, we will be using a testing version of the HIR site, so not all functions seen today may appear on your portal. Also, right here in bold, before recording any vaccinations, please search up the patient record in HIR to verify their record and vaccination history. This part is especially important as it's very important to ensure that all vaccinations are recorded under the correct patient record and that there are no duplicate records created. There have been a few instances of vaccines recorded on wrong records, so please take the time to verify that you have the correct person. And another part in bold here, um, in order to properly use HIR, you will be needing to access it through Internet Explorer. If you use any other program, HIR might not properly function for you. But since Internet Explorer is soon discontinuing, there is a feature in Microsoft Edge that allows you to use that specific website in IE. I'll show you that once we get the guide started on how to do that. And then one other thing here, if you need any assistance or additional support with logging into HIR, please contact the registry help desk right here or call the number, and we should be able to assist you with your login credentials. I'll show the screen at the end again, so don't worry if you miss the information. I'll throw it up there, and then if you have any other HIR related questions, you can reach out to us at that same contact right there. Today's training will go over logging into HIR, searching patient record, adding a new patient, adding a vaccination from other inventory, historical, and from HIR inventory, and adding inventory. And one thing we want to show is how to log a Moderna booster. And let me pull up the website. And I did say that you need to use Internet Explorer. I am currently in Microsoft Edge, so quickly I will show you how to open the site just like this. So if you click on settings at the top corner and then go down to settings, it'll take you to this screen right here. If you click on default browser on the left side, it'll take you to this Internet Explorer compatibility page. So if you see this right here that allows sites to be reloaded, it should automatically be on default, but if you switch it to allow, it'll allow you to access specific websites in Internet Explorer mode. And then if you go down here, you can add in the specific pages you want. So if you click on add, put in the URL, it'll allow you to access HIR in IE mode. And then once you do that, let me show you what it looks like. There you go. And once you get to the site, you'll get this pop-up. You're in Internet Explorer mode. You can just dismiss, and then you can go ahead and get started. You may not have the link to this just yet, but once you go through your onboarding process or you need any help with your login credentials, you'll get that information along with the link to this website. So don't worry if you don't have it just yet. But for today's purposes, I will be using a testing version of the site. So I'll go and switch to Internet Explorer since it works better on there. Okay, do you guys see that screen? Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna log into HIR. You will get all this information through your onboarding process. And again, the registry help desk will be your best friend. I'm gonna go ahead and log in. Okay, and it'll take you to this screen right here. This is the main page. Sometimes you might have access to multiple organizations. So, one thing you want to do before recording anything is click on this Manage Access slash account button at the top. And then here you will see a list of organizations you might have access to. I'm I only have access to one, so only one will appear, but if you have multiple, please make sure you select the correct organization first, just to ensure that any vaccinations recorded are under the correct place. So I'll go ahead and click on this, and it'll take me back to this main screen. Say you have a person who came in, they got their second COVID vaccination dose, and we want to record it. I'll show you how to do that right now. So first things first, we want to search up the patient to see if they're an HIR. You can do that by clicking on the Manage Patient button right here or Manage Immunizations. Both will work. It's just if you use the Manage Patient button, it'll take you directly to their demographics screen. If you use Manage Immunizations, it'll take you to their vaccination screen. But for now, I will click on Manage Patient. And here you will be taken to this patient search criteria screen. Here you can put in all their information, but we do advise to only stick to the last name, first name, and birth date. If you go ahead and enter all the information, it could be misspelled or out of date in HIR, so please refrain from filling out all the information. And one thing we do want to note, when you type in the names, you technically don't need to put in the whole name. We advise that you put in the first two letters of each name. The reason why we do this is say the name is spelled wrong, or there could be multiple people with the same name. Here we can just put in the first two letters and then it'll give you a list of options. So let me show you that real quick. So our example patient, her name will be Susan1. So her last name, we'll just put in ON, first name SU, and then the birth date. Notice we didn't fill in anything else and just the first two letters, so I'll click on Find. And here you'll see that there are multiple people that have that same information. But if you look really closely, you can see that they're different people. So to ensure we have the correct person, we'll go ahead and click on that first one right here. And then it'll take you to this demographics page. So since the patient is there, you can verify with them if this is the correct person. In our scenario, we're going to say this is not the same Susan one. So we'll go back and search her up again. And then check this other record. So we can click on this, look at her information, and we can verify that we have the correct Susan one. Then from there, since you know that, we can go ahead and click on History / Recommendations at the top, and it'll take you directly to her vaccination page. So if we use that Manage Immunizations page, it'll take you here. I'll show you that real quickly so you notice the patient search criteria is exactly the same. So first name, last name, date of birth, search, and she's right here. We'll click and take you to this page. Um, One thing I want to point out, say we do a patient search and they don't pop up. There's no record or something's a little off. One thing we do recommend trying is to switch the first and last name around in the search up. Sometimes when patients are inputted into HIR, it could get switched around as an accidental entry. So we can try that. And looks like no patients popped up. This is what it'll look like too in the system if they don't appear. But since she's not in the system, hypothetically, we're gonna try and enter her in. So we can click on Enter New Patient right over here and then create her record. So the page will look just like that demographic page from before. So we'll go ahead and put in her information. All the blue fields with the asterisks are required. The other ones are not, but we do advise for you to put in as much information as possible, as I'm sure we all want as complete records. And just in case we need to verify patient information, we'll have it right there. So for this, I'll just go ahead and put in her information. Then you can go down, it'll be patient address, patient information, race. Here we can put in multiple races. Let me remove these real quick just to show you a clean record. Races is a required field, so say she's Asian, you can go ahead and click on Asian and add race. You'll see that the race moved to the box on the right. You can put in multiple races as well, so say she's also Chinese, click on add race, and now it's on the box on the right again. So anything on this side will appear on her record. Going down, there's also a responsible persons section. I will put in one person, I'll put in her mom. So it'll be like that. Mother, and then apply. If you have additional information, you can always put them in. Go back, and you'll see that her mother is now as a responsible person. You can add multiple people. So say you want to add in a father as well. You can click on add new, go down, and then put in his information. So say the dad's name is Tom, apply, and now you will see that there are two responsible persons. Keep going, there's also patient comments and patient notes. You can fill those in, and then once you're complete, you can go ahead and click on save right at the top. And now we're taken to this patient match detected. If the information you put into the system is brand new, nothing related to another person, it'll take you directly to their account, to their record. But since we do know Susan 1 is in the system, you will get this screen here. This is just to ensure no duplicate records are created and to make sure that all the information in HR is accurate. Sometimes it might have people with the same names, same birth date, like almost all the same information, but you do know they are different people. If so, you can go ahead and push this create new patient button and they will have a record in HIR. But if you know for sure that these are the same people, which you can do and verify clicking on one and you'll see the record right there, we can go ahead and leave the page. So that way we don't go ahead and create this new patient record. But since we know she's here, we can go back, search her up one more time, click on the correct record, go to her history, and then we can go ahead and record her vaccination information. Any questions so far? And then we can move on. Okay, if there are no questions, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Stephanie.
Okay, so once you
Hi,
find,
sorry.
Mhm.
oh,
Go ahead.
Sorry, Rachel. I have a question about the responsible party. Say they're an adult. Do you, because you added mom because she's 2000. Do you add just like a spouse, or how does
Oh,
that work?
yes.
Because I mean,
Yes, you can. So under relationship, there are multiple. Can you see? Oh, wait, I don't think you can see the drop down. Let me switch my screen really quick. Okay, do you see this drop down?
okay, so there could be any of those. Okay, great.
Yeah, so say it's a child, grandchild, parent, or spouse. You have all these options right over here.
Perfect. Thank you.
hmm Any other questions?
We also have another question. If they're an adult, do we necessarily need to put that information for the responsible party?
Oh, no. So the responsible person section isn't a required field.
Okay,
hmm
got it.
Anything else? All right. And if anything pops up, you can always throw it into the chat. And then with that, I'll pass it over back to Stephanie.
okay, so once you find the patient's previous record or you create a new patient record, you will be able to record a vaccination. So we'll go ahead and click on Susan's history, and then we will click on Add Immunization. There are three different options for recording an immunization from other inventory, from HIR inventory or historical number. So first we'll go through how to record using the from other inventory column, which is used for vaccine doses not drawn out of HIR inventory. So again, we're using COVID as the example today. So under the COVID-19 box, under the from other inventory column, we'll click the box and then click OK. So here you would enter the immunization information. So for eligibility, you would select the option that fits best. So either adult insured or adult not insured. For chosen eligibilities will look a little different. There are all different types of options like VFC uninsured, VFC Medicaid / Quest, or not VFC eligible. So you would just select the option that fits best for that. For the trade name, you would select the appropriate type of vaccine. So for today, we'll just select Pfizer. The manufacturer should auto-populate based on what you selected. So here it says Pfizer. Then you would enter the lot number information, which can be found on your vials or your supply boxes. For today, since the testing site, since we're using a testing site, there's no options for this administered by. Usually there'd be the drop down with options, but we don't have anybody, so you would just select for your organization. But if you would like to add, or you need to request a change of name for this administered by section, then you can go ahead and contact that registry email that we said earlier. But however, keep in mind that if people were to leave your organization, you would also email to take them off of this administered by section as well. Under vaccine type, you would select either public or private. For COVID, we would select public, and then we'll click OK. So if there's a pop-up that comes up about eligibility like this, just click OK. This warning won't change anything for the record. So here you can see that the COVID vaccine was recorded. From here, we will click on the pencil icon under the edit column, and then you're able to add more information like the body site. So we'll just click left for today, and then the administered route. So we'll select intramuscular, and then don't forget to click save to keep this new body site and administered route information. So going back to the Add Immunization page, we will now show how to use the historical number column to record a past vaccination. So this is used to record vaccine doses administered at another provider's office. So if your patient brings in vaccination records on paper forms that they received from a different provider, we mainly want you to have your patient contact the administering provider for them to input the vaccine into HIR. So if your patient is unable to get the previous provider to enter the historical record, and you verified that when you looked up the patient record in HIR, there's no vaccines, or that vaccine is not recorded in the system, then you can use the historical number column. However, we want you to try to refrain from using the historical number column, as other providers may still need to input their vaccinations. So in order to record using the historical number column, you would enter a 1 under the next in the COVID box, and then click OK. So from here, you would enter the historical immunization information. So enter the date that it was administered. For the trade name, we'll use Pfizer today. The lot number information should be on the record that the patient brought in. And then make sure to include the provider name who administered the dose. Again, that should be on the record. And under source of IMM, you would just select the option that fits best. For today, we'll select other provider and then click OK. So here you can see that it was recorded under the historical question mark column. It says yes, it was recorded as a historical dose. So from here, you can click on the pencil icon under the edit column to review or edit any incorrect information. And then you can click save.
Before we get started, I see we have a question in the chat. It says for pediatrics, since we do not get COVID vaccines from VFC, then do we just select uninsured or insured for the kids? That is a good question. Let me show you that real quick. So she did mention that there'll be different options here. Again, you can select the correct one. So say they're insured, you can go ahead and select that. But since it's pediatrics, the vaccine type here will automatically be set to private. Since it's a COVID vaccine, it'll always be public. And then you can record it like that. You just want to make sure the vaccine type always switches to public for COVID-19 vaccination specifically. And then from there, you can hit OK. You will get that same pop-up again since for VFCs, it's typically a private vaccination, but you can just bypass that and push OK and then save it. Does that answer your question?
Hi, sorry, this is Lee. Kind of. So, but for the eligibility section, I did overhear her say that for eligibility, if for peds, like there's going to be a VFC drop down, but we're not selecting VFC, correct? Because the COVID vaccines, we would just do insured or uninsured.
Yeah. So, the drop down will already say VFC, but no, there's nothing to worry about there. It's because the reason why we want to bypass that is under the vaccine type. So it'll say
I get
VFC
that,
insured.
but what do we choose for eligibility then for
I
children?
think under the VFC options, there's also like not VFC eligible, so you can select that option.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to check that there's other options besides
Yes,
VFC.
there would be.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions so far before we continue? Okay, I'll pass it over to Jolene.
Okay, so as we've mentioned before, there's 3 columns used to record vaccines. So we'll be showing you how to use the From HIR Inventory column. So it typically looks like this column right here, this first column. But to use this column, you'll need to input your inventory into HIR first. So to do that, you're going to click on Manage Inventory, which is located on the left-hand side of your screen under Inventory. You're going to click on Show Inventory at the top on the right. And then you're going to click on Add Inventory. All right, and then Add Vaccine Inventory Information page will appear. Here, you're going to enter all information. So all your vaccine information can be found on your vials or your supply boxes. And as you can see in the drop-down menu, there's a bunch of different vaccines listed. So this will also apply to other vaccines as well, not just the COVID-19 vaccine we're showing today. But for today, we'll be doing a COVID vaccine. So we're going to do Pfizer. So we're going to look up the appropriate Pfizer vaccine. And then we're going to fill in the rest of the information. So NDC, you're going to click on one of your options. And the dose should auto-populate. And then you're going to fill in your lot number. All right, and then enter in your expiration date, and also input the quantity on hand, and then press Save. And at the bottom of the page, you'll see that it was successfully entered. All right, and then just to check that it's in our system, we can click on the Manage Inventory option on the left again. And then you click on Show Inventory. And then as you can see, your newly entered COVID-19 vaccine should pop up right here. There's our Pfizer with our lot number and quantity, expiration date, all of that. So now we can begin recording and using our inventory we just put in. All right, so to demonstrate, we're gonna begin looking up a patient. We're gonna click on Manage Patient, and our patient's name is gonna be Susan 2. So again, you don't have to type in the full name, just the first 2 letters is fine. So SUTW for Susan 2, so long you have the data first. Click Find. All right, and then here's our patient's page. this is the patient we want, and then we're going to click on the history recommendation button on the right-hand side. All right, and then as you can see, our patient already had her first dose. So that means we're going to record a second dose. So we're going to click on the Add Immunization button. All right, and then one thing to note, you'll know there's inventory in HIR when you see a box under the vaccine. So we just input for COVID-19. So we have a box under our From HIR Inventory column, and you know there's inventory when there's that box as an indicator. As you can see, the other vaccines don't have a box, which means there was no inventory entered. So we can go ahead and click on that box under COVID-19. All right, and then you can click OK. All right, and then here's going to be the new immunization page. So we're going to fill in for eligibility. It's going to be either for adults, adult insured, not insured, or DOH use only. And for pediatrics, the not VFC eligible, DOH use only. We're going to click on trade name. We're going to click on our Pfizer vaccine we just entered. That one. All right. Administered by, body site. We're going to fill in all of this information. And then click OK. And you're going to see this warning pop up, but you're going to click OK and proceed. And your vaccine should now be recorded into HIR. As you can see right there, the second dose. And you can always edit under the edit column. There's going to be a pencil icon. You can click on that. And also, providers, please enter in any additional information for the patient. So administered by, body site, any reactions to the immunization, and be sure to click save. So we do have a question in the chat. I'm going to pause right now. If we give a COVID vaccine in our office and we are using other inventory, are we using other inventory or HIR inventory?
Oh, okay, I can answer that. So it's entirely up to you. So some providers prefer to only use the From Other Inventory tab. Here, the only difference is that you'll have to put in all the information yourself. But if you want to add your vaccines into the inventory in HIR, so say we go here and we add it manually, then you can go ahead and use that column right there. But it's not a requirement to put your inventory into HIR, but it's totally up to you on which path you want to take. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a question on top of that. So do you mean, so if we add our inventory in HIR, I know so it's not mandatory, but if we do, then we don't have to like manually type in the lot? We could like pull from the inventory we entered? Is that?
Exactly. Yes.
understand?
So say we put it in there, push OK, you'll see that it automatically populates. So
Got
say
it.
we added the 555, save it. And then just one more thing since we're here, since we did record that under this 555, if you go back to inventory, show inventory, you'll see that the inventory on hand decreased by 1. So just in case you want to be able to keep track of your inventory.
Thank you.
Anything else so far? Okay. Go ahead, Jolene.
All right, since we did that, we're going to go over a Moderna booster. So Moderna boosters is recorded differently compared to the regular Pfizer and Moderna injection. So to demonstrate this one, we're going to look up another patient. Her name's going to be Susan 3. So again, you don't have to type in the full name, just the first 2 letters is fine. So SUTH for Susan 3, the date of birth, and click find. Here's the patient that we want. All right, and then we're going to click on the history recommendation button right there. And it's going to lead you to the patient's information and history page. So this patient, as you can note, she has her first and second dose already in the system. So we're going to go ahead and do a booster dose. So we're going to click on the Add Immunization button in the center. All right, and then you're going to click on the COVID-19 box, but you're going to click on that box from the other inventory column, and then click OK. You're going to get the new immunization page, and we're going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the information. So eligibility, again, adult insured, non-insured, DOH use only, and then click the trade name. We're going to go ahead and go with Moderna, since it is a Moderna booster. The dose is going to be a half dose, because boosters are a half dose. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill in the lot number, administered by, and then click OK. And then you're going to get this pop-up again. Just click OK and proceed. And then there you have it. There is our booster dose. It should now be recorded. And you can note it says half right there under the dose column. And if you need to edit or anything at all, you can click on the pencil icon again under Edit and fill in any additional information as well. Body site, left arm, intramuscular, administered by, any reactions, and then make sure to save, and it should be saved to our patient's page. All right, so that is typically how you record a Moderna booster. Now, this concludes the demonstration portion. We basically went over a PDF version of HIR, which you would have received when you first enrolled. If you didn't receive the PDF, then you can drop your email in the chat and we can send you that PDF again if you didn't receive it. But if not, you
Sorry,
can
a
pause.
PDF of what?
Oh, of this HIR, of how to use the HIR. It's a manual PDF.
Oh, great,
If,
thank you.
yeah, if you didn't receive one, then you can drop your email in the chat and we can make sure to send you another one if you didn't receive it. But if not, we can pause here for questions. So we can either use the raise hand feature and we can call on you and you can come off of mute, or you can just drop your questions in the chat. So whichever you providers prefer. We have a question. Are we able to update/edit the inventory for COVID vaccines that was wasted?
Yes, let me go to that inventory page. So let's say you're in this one right here, the 555. Select it, and then we want to click on modify quantity right here. And then you can say what you want to do. So say you wasted, you want to subtract some. You lost maybe 3. And there we go. Error, doses transferred, opt out, borrow in or out. Could be receipt of inventory, and then you can subtract. Push save, it'll decrease. Or say you have extra on hand, then you can just click on add. And say you need to add 2 more. Does that answer your question? No problem. Any other questions so far?
There's another one. I have members of my clinic that haven't signed up for HIR access since they were not employed here before HIR forms were due on January 31st. Are you still accepting HIR forms and assigning new users/passwords?
Yes. Let me pull up that slide again right here. So say you need to add more users or do anything, make changes to your clinic, this email or this phone number right here will be able to help you with that.
I'll also drop it in the chat. So registryhelp@doh.hawaii.gov. All right, another question. Will we be able to enter info that we are not able to enter in VAMS, and how to register all persons who will be administering?
Okay, the second question, to add more persons, again, registry help will help you with that. And then if you could say that first part of the question one more time, the VAMS part.
Oh, will we be able to enter info that we are not able to enter in VAMS?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So currently, all information put in VAMS is being transferred to HAR. There might be like a day delay or so, but say you need to go back and input something, you should be able to search them up here. So manage patient, find them here, and then add any vaccinations you need to put in. Does that answer the question?
I'm so sorry. I think I missed that part.
No
So
worries.
the information that's previously in VAMS, that's already going to be transferred over to HIR, or we'll have to do that?
Oh
Like, when
no,
they do that?
it's already there.
Oh,
Yeah, so
fantastic.
every day they're doing like a VAMS extract and they're being uploaded into HIR.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Oh, and then another part to that question, will we still need to do Vaccine Finder daily?
Yes, Vaccine Finder is a CDC requirement, so that's way above us. And yes, please put in your inventory into there.
Got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
And then I have one more. Sorry, I have a lot of questions.
Don't worry about it.
So I know you confirmed that if we have an interface, that it'll automatically go in. We don't have to manually enter it. But we do have to manually enter inventory if we want to do that. So if we manually enter inventory, but we have an interface, will that still pull from the inventory? Do you know?
Oh,
Or at
that I
that point,
wouldn't
I guess it
know.
doesn't really matter since it's already in an interface.
Yeah. So
Or
I'm assuming since you're already doing it into your EHR, you might not need to do the manage inventory. I think that only applies if you do it manually. Um, but if anything, you might need to ask whoever your web services is and how they
okay,
pull it. Yeah.
thank you.
Mhm.
All right, another question. Can we do bulk upload like we were able to do with VAMs? Also, how can we run a report?
Technically, you won't be able to do like a manual bulk upload. The only way we could technically do that is if you have a web services system in place with your EHR to HIR. I understand that some of you may not. So in that scenario, you'd have to put it in one by one. But as for generating reports, you can do so if you click on where is that? Ad hoc right here. Provider, let me see.
It
This
might be
one
the
right
odd,
here,
yeah.
the ad hoc list report. So here you can generate a list. You can put in the information you need to sort and it'll give you a report. Does that answer your question?
All right, and we have another question. Who do we work with to set up an integration with our EHR?
Oh, same thing. It'll always be registry help. They should be able to help you with that and connect you with your web services. Any other questions so far? Okay, well, if that's it for today, that's all we got. Say you have any more questions, you guys should have my email, but if anything, you can always reach out to registry help or call. Um, and with that, I'll let you guys go. If you didn't put in your name or provider organization or email in the chat yet, please put it in. We'd happy to take down your attendance or send you any additional information if needed. And if not anything else, I'll let you guys go. Thank you. Have a
There's
good day. Oh, yeah.
one question, I think. To check on daily total given, which do we select?
Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yep, see your screen.
Okay. Yep. So if you see this right here, what items would you like to display? You can scroll down and then there's an immunization section. So you can pick which one you want to do. If you want to look at specific vaccine or by vaccination date or by lot, you can select the ones you want. And then there's also other options here, but if you want to go by vaccines given in a day, you might want to hit vaccination date, and then you can get that sorted right over here. Does that answer the question? Okay. And if that's it, I will end it here. Just feel free to send an email. We'll always be happy to help you.